Welcome back to the PT Graduate Podcast. My guest today is Claire Simmons of Claire Simmons Coaching. Hi, Claire.
Hey Richard, how are you?
Yeah, very well, very well. Good to see you after quite some time.
It has been a while, yes. Yeah, good to see you again as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you
Great
for
to connect
inviting me on.
and thank you for your time. It's great to be able to record another episode and have I try and get a bit of diversity in the people that I talk to as well, although it's obviously aimed at a fitness audience, but that it's a broader health group of people, and I've talked to lots of allied health professionals, and so I thought of you, and here we are. So you're an empowerment coach, and you are a breathwork facilitator, but you've done other things prior to that. So
Yeah.
maybe maybe tell us a little bit about what you do now, but then tell us where it all started, how you got to there.
Sure, okay. So at the moment, as I say, I'm an women's empowerment coach, which is something that a big passion of mine is to actually help women to be able to come to take themselves from being unstuck and uncertain to unstoppable. And the reason I feel so passionate about that is I was there once there myself, and it was only a few years ago when my husband and we built, created, and sold our business. My husband went into employment, and I felt lost. I didn't really know what direction I was going. I didn't really feel any purpose and any drive to do anything. So, having invested a lot of time and hours into personal development, I was able to obtain the tools, the resources to help take myself from feeling uncertain to unstoppable. And I thought, well, if it's me, there's not likely to just be myself. There's going to be other people, a lot of women out there who maybe I don't have children, but they may have had children and the children have now left home or they've got into a job and they just don't know how to move forward from there. So just to be
Mm,
able to assist them in taking themselves out of that uncertainty area that they may be in to propel themselves forward, to give them the passion and drive to do something that they really want to do and to be able to, yeah, live a life that they deserve and desire. So,
brilliant.
yeah.
Love it. And how does that work in terms of the way you work with your clients? Are you face to face or online or a bit of both?
They're both, yeah. So I've had clients who are local who have actually we've been face to face. I love being in person. I'm a real in person person.
Yeah.
But they can be done online. Like Zoom obviously is a huge thing these days that gives us the opportunity to work with anybody worldwide, which is amazing. So yeah, it's a bit of both.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what sort of skills have you picked up that you felt were the ones you needed to do that empowerment work?
So for myself, I did a big course on NLP, neuro linguistic programming. And that was a completely new area to myself. I've done a lot of work, I've done a lot of personal development work over the years, but for me to actually really hone in and get the full understanding of how my body works, why I feel the way I do, the emotions, the limiting beliefs, the old program, and all those things that we have inside of us,
Mhm.
and to be able to have those tools to unblock those, like, remove any blockages that may be standing in my way in those areas, to release those to propel myself forward. So that's all the tools, and with the hypnotherapy as well, that's another side of things that I do within the coaching, can all assist in unblocking those particular areas. So yeah, I've got a lot of tools in my tool bag now through that
Mhm.
coaching, and yeah, I've learned a lot and surrounding myself with the people who are also there as well to uplift and inspire to, assist with moving on.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. Brilliant. Um, and so what got you to this point? I wouldn't talk about the breath work, but you also run breath work. Um, you're a facilitator in breath work. And the thing that I was curious about is this 9D
Right.
component. Like
I
we've heard
love
of we've heard
it.
of 1D, 2D, and 3D, but I'm like, what's this
Yeah, this is a
9D
new one.
stuff?
This is the goodie. So, just backtracking a little bit as to how I got into breath work, again, through all the personal development and also business development work that we've done over the years, which stems back, perhaps 10 years plus. We've been doing a lot of work, both Tim, my husband, and myself. Um, and through one of the events we were at, about 5 or 6 years ago, were introduced to breath work. Now, I had never even heard of it. and I did breath work in a room. We were perhaps about 100 people in the room. And it was so new to me. I did it, but I was easily distracted from other people. And my husband, when he does anything, he goes in like a freight train. So he's breathing really deeply. And I could hear him, and it was distracting my journey, as well as other people in the room that I could hear. And over the years, I realized the benefits. It wasn't just this new fad that, people were talking about breath work, which has been around for thousands of years,
Mm,
but it became the new, everybody's doing breath work now. And we continue to do it over the years, but then I realized how powerful breath work really is and how transformational it can be in people's lives. So it's just a huge area that I'm so passionate about, which goes hand in hand with the coaching.
mm.
And then a year or so ago, we were introduced to 9D. We experienced the 9D journey, and the difference is you actually wear a headset. So with the
Ah,
majority of breath work that you do, you're laying in a room and you have a guided coach talking you through the
yep.
journey. This is wearing a headset. So we wear an eye mask so you don't see anything, and
Mm,
you wear a headset so you don't hear anything. So
right.
anything outside. And that
Right.
was a complete game changer for me. So I put the headset on, and I could have been in a room anywhere, and you just don't
Mm,
hear anything else. So I'm like, this for me was huge. And then, yeah, we really love the 9D side of things. So the 9D is actually different sounds, vibrations, frequencies, hypnotic suggestions, guided coach, talking you through. So the whole time you've got different sounds and things which your subconscious mind is taking all in,
mm,
and you're on your own journey. And I absolutely love that. So we became 9D facilitators ourselves,
right.
and we've done numerous journeys, and just to actually witness and hold space for people in those rooms where they're actually in a safe space and they're able to go on their own journey. They could be anywhere. The feedback that we get is amazing. The releases that we have in the room and the testimonials that we're receiving is just mind blowing, that people are getting such huge results from just breathing. And that's what I love about it. There's nothing else involved. It's just you
Mm,
breathing. You're in complete control of your journey. And
mm.
it's just phenomenal that, we've had one lady who, we've got quite a few people who come back time and time again, are booking in for each session because they realize the benefits of it. So it's just amazing.
Okay. So I've got a million questions. So,
Fire away.
so the first one off the top of my head is, um, so you've got the headphones on. Is it
Yeah,
is it is it noise cancelling to what else is going on?
absolutely. Yeah. So you
Right.
put them on and you can't hear anybody else. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anybody else outside of you. Yeah.
So and there is something being played into the headphones.
Yeah, so with those, so all of that's the subliminal messages, the hypnotic suggestions, the brainwave entrainment, all the
Mm.
music and the guided coach, that's all coming through both ears. So it's
Right.
constantly spinning out of
Okay.
yeah.
And everybody in the room is listening to the same thing at the same time.
Yeah, correct. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Interesting.
I have to do a Zoom session. Do Zoom session.
And then the follow on to that is you talked about the lady who saw the benefits and came back. Is it something that you would keep doing over a long period of time or a block or both or
It's one of those things. So it's like what one size doesn't fit all. You don't do it once and you walk out and everything, every issue that I
yeah.
had, everything is gone. I mean, it has a huge impact. But we have people who come back time and time again because they know the releases they have are different each time. You could come into one session and have an absolutely massive release of whatever, and then the next time you come back in, you could do exactly the same session and have the tiniest release. It's whatever is right for you on that day. So we
Okay.
always say to people when they come with an open mind, have no expectations, just you don't need to know what you need to let go of. At some point in our lives, that everybody has been through, everybody's got emotions, everybody's had some trauma, whether it's minor or major, old programming, limiting beliefs that we know
Mm.
can stem back to early childhood.
Mm.
And as we're aware, the body suppresses this. Your subconscious mind, part of its job is to keep you safe, and it's suppressing all of this. So you may not even be aware of what's within your body. And the great thing with our breath work as well, it's somatic breathing. So whereas talk therapies, which are amazing and everything has its place in society, you're using your mind, you're talking about things, you're bringing it back. And whereas they can perhaps get to a certain stage, they may not be able to actually release that blockage. They may not be
Yeah.
able to overcome that blockage. Whereas with the breath work, we're actually switching off the busy analytical monkey mind. It's all go, go, go.
Yeah.
We're actually switching this off. So you don't think about anything. You just trust the process, surrender, and allow your body to do the work. And your body
Mm.
knows what it needs to release. And on
Okay.
that day, whatever comes out is right for you.
Mm. Mm.
So, in answer to your question, you can come back time and time and time again. And we have people who have done multiple journeys and sometimes done the same journey because we
Mm.
have a library of different ones. And they find ones that they really relate to, and they're able to let go of whatever they need to let go of on the day. So it
Interesting.
absolutely blows my mind. I
Mm.
absolutely love it. Yeah, it's huge.
So, do is are people encouraged to share what they've experienced, or they just sort of take the headphones off and leave, or how does it play out?
Yeah, so at the end of the session, we always give people time to, come back into the room, to a comfortable position. And we always ask if anybody has anything that came up that they would like to share, please feel free. You're in a safe space. But nobody is expected to. There's no,
Right.
you're not forced to. At the end of the day, what happens is right for you, and that's happened for you. So we don't expect anybody to be sharing anything if they don't feel the need and the calling
Mm.
for it, which is
Mm.
absolutely fine. And thereafter that, we always follow up. So I always follow up with people the next day to see how they went, if they had anything that they want to discuss, if there's anything that came up. And then also let people know that we're always here. They've got our phone number, they've got our email, social media. If people want to reach out afterwards, should something come up, maybe, a couple of weeks down the track, it may not be straight away, but they may
Mm.
notice there's been changes or shifts, or the way they used to react to something may be different. They may notice over time. So it may not necessarily be when they leave that day. It could be the following day, week, or weeks
Yeah.
even. And we're always here. And we have had people reach out to us weeks after saying, this has just cropped up, and
Mm.
they didn't know who to speak to. So they contacted us, and that's exactly what we're here for. We don't just do the breathwork session with you and then that's it. You don't
Yeah.
hear from us anymore. We've got that caring after factor as well.
Cool. I like it. I like it. I kind of want to experience it now.
Yeah, I want you to too.
To sort
Well,
something out.
actually, you say that we were at an event this weekend, and we've just done 2 breathwork sessions this weekend. And one of the ladies actually asked us, "Do you travel?" And we said, "Yes, we do." And she's got somebody in New Zealand who would really be interested. So if we could get the
Mm.
numbers out, we'd definitely come over.
Okay.
So yeah, for
Cool.
sure, love to do that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, tell us where it all started, Claire. Where did the journey begin that has got you to this place now?
Oh, many, many, many moons ago. So when I left school a few years ago, I had always been active in sport. I'd always loved the PE side of things in school. Didn't really know what I wanted to do when I left. So I went on to college and did a City and Guilds, which in Australia people would have no idea what that is. In
Yep.
the UK, it was, one of those things. So I did City and Guilds in sport and recreation,
Mm.
then carried on and did a BTEC diploma in sport and rec. And so that was I'd always had that passion. I'd always been into sports throughout my life, and the gym and swimming had always played a big part for me. And then as the years went on, I was still active. In 2007, Tim and I emigrated from the UK to Australia, which is where we now live.
Yeah.
And we worked at a gym. We both had that. Tim's got that side of things as well. So we actually both worked in the gym. And then what did we do? We were throughout our working life, I guess here, we'd always love to travel. We don't have children, we'd love to travel. So we'd been to
Mm.
different places. And as you can see, Nepal was one of those places.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
For those listening, Nepal
Yeah.
is on your t-shirt.
And it's something that I'd never wanted to do, never even thought about Everest Base Camp. It had always
Yeah.
been on Tim's bucket list. And we saw it, it was basically a belated honeymoon for us. So a year after we got married in 2018, we went to Everest Base Camp. And I didn't even know about Lukla Airport, the short runway, and any of that side of things. That was all kind of kept quiet until just before we went. And we did a lot of training here in walking. We didn't really do anything else. We didn't do any altitude training.
Mm.
We took all the medication with us. We got to base camp or to Kathmandu. And our Sherpa said to us, if you haven't started taking can't think of the name of it now, the medication for altitude sickness,
Yeah.
then don't worry, just take it easy and stay hydrated and I'll keep an eye on you. So we
Mm.
successfully climbed base camp in 8 days. It was the best experience. It was absolutely amazing. And I'm so grateful to Tim for wanting to go, because it was something that would never have happened had it not have been for him. And we got to Nepal, we got to base camp unassisted with any medication. We didn't take any medication. It was the best. We met some amazing people, but to actually see those people over there, the lives that they lead and how happy they are, for
Mm,
having nothing or for having very little. And then we came back from Nepal and okay, well, maybe we'll do a nice summer holiday one year and then we'll do a trek. That was going to be our thing.
mm,
And then we had our own business that was busy. And then last year, we'd actually met up through some networking and through some events that we'd been to with business development. We met up with a lady from the One Heart Foundation, which is an Australian-based foundation who have sites in Kenya where they help the children, the underprivileged, and giving them safety and nurturing. And they build an academy, and they've done some amazing work over there, giving back to giving to these children who would have had no potential life ahead of them.
mm.
And she mentioned about doing a marathon in Kenya. And it really appealed to me because I was doing parkrun at the time and I loved running and still that fitness side of it. So it's always been there. And had a Zoom meeting about it, and she told me about it, and I was bawling my eyes out about what happens and what you do and the children. And I said to him, I'm in. And I told him, he started crying. He said, I'm in as well. So we're like, okay. So we had to raise $25,000, to assist with us going and for
Right.
the investment that they were going to make in the academy, and all the money went into the projects that they were running over there. So last year we went. I only trained to do the half marathon. Tim was training to do the full,
Mm.
and we got to Kenya, and there were, I think, 15 of us in our group. And on the race day, I actually said on the bus on the way there, I'd love to be able to say I came home and I'd done the marathon, and there was no intention. And we got to the start line, and I got to the turnaround point for the half marathon. And I thought, do you know what? I've got more in me than this. I can keep going. So keep going, no turn around, keep going, no turn around. I was unsure, and I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? So I turned around and started to go back. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I've come all this way. So I turned around and then carried on, caught Tim up.
Crikey.
I did the full marathon. We both did
Brilliant.
it together. It was 6 hours, 16 minutes, and it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Burst into tears when I crossed the finish line with like exhaustion and excitement and pride and all of the stuff. And it was just great because it was just the thought of those children at that finish line that kept me
Mm,
going and what we were
mm.
there for. And that was amazing. And I actually turned 50 in the April as we went out in the July. So for me, that was a massive thing for me to have not only run a marathon at altitude, but also I just turned 50, which just goes to show that age really is just a number. People,
Brilliant.
oh, I can't do that because I'm too old. And I'm like, you're never too old. It's all mindset.
Yep.
And yeah, that was huge. And then from there, it's just been a huge passion to continue in the health and wellness. And if I can do as much as I can do to assist other people, that's what I want to do. That's where my passion lies in helping other people to live their best life, because I just believe that life is for living. Life is short. We all know people who we love, and friends and family who we've lost along the way. And it just reiterates, I think, the importance of living the life that you want to lead and just be happy and
Mm,
do what makes you happy. So,
mm,
and
mm.
health is my number one value. So if you haven't got your health, then,
Same. Yep.
yeah.
Snap. I'm like curious about base camp because I know other people that have done it, and it's sort of in the back of my mind, I'm sort of building
Do
this
it.
imaginary list of things which people call a bucket list, and it's kind of crept on there because of so many people that I've come across. So, did you say 8 days to get to the base camp?
Yeah, so ours was actually through a company, but I found it in the newspaper. It was back in the days where luxury escapes had all these amazing offers. And it was a 12, I think it was a 12-day trip, but it
Yeah.
was 8 days up and 4 days down. No, it was, sorry, 14-day trip, 8 days up the mountain, 4 days down, and then
Right.
we had a day sort of either side.
Okay.
But yeah, the companies, there are so many companies who organize everything. In my mind, I say hands down, everybody should do it. Seriously, the group that we were with, we had a daughter who was 22 and her dad was 60, and they were both in our group. So she was the youngest and he was the oldest.
Right.
and all of us, like you just stick together. It's that camaraderie of being in the group together, but it's just what the values and everything that you get along the way. It's just
Mm.
amazing that just to see that we took lollies to have, or sweets and lollies for the children. And they came out and they're just so grateful. You know, one little sweet for them was huge, and we took
Yeah.
coloring books and those sorts of things. They didn't know what they were, and it just like really tugged on your heartstrings. And
Mm.
to me, everybody and nobody's too old. Like you go, and as long as you can walk, then you can do it. There's no race, you know, everybody can, you take your time. If you need to have the dimoxafen, I think it is, the altitude sickness tablets, if you need them, you take them.
Yeah.
And the Sherpas are there to guide you, and they know the signs, they know what to look for. So there's nothing daunting. But for
Yeah.
me, the biggest daunting thing was the airport.
All right.
Lucknow Airport is one of the shortest runways in the world, so I didn't know that. So when you land, you land. It's a tiny little plane, but they do it day in, day out. Yeah, literally. But
Jeez.
it's amazing. It's an absolutely amazing experience for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
so what what altitude, excuse my ignorance, what altitude do you hit when you get to base camp?
Great question. Oh, is it on here? Is it on there? No,
I
is
could
it on
Google it. Oh, hang on.
there?
No, it's got the location.
Yeah.
I
I'm
couldn't see
thinking
down halfway.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I'm thinking it's 3,000
A
something.
little bit higher, a little bit higher. Oh no.
It might not be on there.
No, it just says Mount Everest. I will Google that.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, you definitely feel it. And I must admit, on the day of getting to the base camp, I felt a little bit lightheaded.
Right.
But other than that, absolutely, yeah. Once you're there, to say you're at Everest Base Camp, phenomenal. And the trek along the way, like the scenery and just everything, and even the little tea houses that you go into, it's just everything about it is just
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Mm.
spectacular. So, uh, having done the marathon in Kenya and climbed to base camp, which would be the most sort of most impactful or most memorable for you?
I think most memorable is the marathon, purely
Yep.
because we did it for the One Heart Foundation. So we got to spend time with the children.
Right.
And for me, that was massive to be able to see, to go to the centre where they get taken in from the street so that they've got some care and they've got shelter and they get food. To then see in the process that they go to actually be taken into the One Heart Academy where they have a family, they have, you know, brothers and sisters there, and
Mm,
they have an education, there's a schooling, they've got so much on the grounds there that they're continuously developing, that it's just to be part of that and to actually spend that time with them was huge. You know, we did some painting, we did some gardening, we did things, we played with the kids, you know, had fun, and
mm.
that side of it was just huge. And then yeah, for me, I guess it also topped it off as well. For my 50th, we went to the Masai Mara afterwards and did the safari. That's you can add that on to the end. So while we're there, while in Kenya, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. So
But yeah,
did
definitely the marathon. And to do that, and you don't have to do the full marathon, you know, it was
yeah,
to do the half, and you don't have to run it, you can walk it. So that was massive.
brilliant. What sort of temperature was it when you were doing it?
It was hot. It was mid to high 20s, and
Okay.
yeah, it was very, very warm.
Yeah.
Uh, so we started early in the morning, but yeah, so 6.5 hours later,
Yeah.
6 minutes later, it's getting pretty warm out there.
Mm,
So
I
yeah,
bet.
humidity, altitude and temperature was a huge factor in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Definitely. It's a sort of a nice, it's a nice thing to achieve for yourself, but at the same time, it's a really big give back to that community by the sounds of things.
Yeah, it's a give back to the community, which was massive, and I've got so much passion and drive to, I want to be able to say to them, here's a huge chunk of money that you can now put towards the next project that you need, because it's all about the fundraising and, you know, donations that they receive. So that has instilled that inside of me to be able to do what I can even more so, and to be able to go back at some point in the future to see these children growing up and how they're developing and, you know, experiencing life, and see the smiles on their faces is just massive. But
Mm,
also it's a huge thing as well in being able to say to other people, I've done it. You know, I haven't got a massive, I'm not the fittest person on earth, and you just don't need to be. It's so much about mindset. If you want to do something, then you really, if you put your mind to it and you're dedicated to it, and you put in the work, then, you know, anything is possible. That there
Mm.
really are no restrictions in life. That
Mm.
the only restrictions that you have, the only limits you have, are what you place on yourself.
I
Um,
like it. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
That leads me nicely into asking you about top tips because I think that's a great little segue. What sort of things would you recommend from a maybe a business point of view or a personal point of view that have stood the test of time for you or have worked for you?
I've got a few top tips.
Lovely.
My first one being for whether you're in business or not, personal or business, to actually invest in a coach, to
Right.
actually alongside a mentor, coach, mentor, to work with somebody who's going to be there to keep you accountable, who's done the work, so you don't have to go back to ground zero and start again, and work it out for yourself.
Yeah.
Learn from these people who have done it, have been there. There's so many huge people out there now, that are absolutely amazing at what they do, and they want to help other people. So really lean into getting some coaching, mentoring, whatever it may be in whatever area. But yeah, we've done a lot of personal and business, and it's definitely helped us along the way. So that would be a huge
Sure.
tip.
Yeah.
Secondly, I would say continuously educate yourself,
Mhm.
whether it be listening to podcasts like this one, whether it be listening to Audible books, reading, yeah, anything like that. And actually, I've had a few books here I just wanted to, that I highly recommend, if that's
Far
all right.
away.
My first one is, and this is one of the big passions, the Top Five Regrets of the Dying by Bronnie Ware. I think this is a read for everybody. It's just a real eye opener, and this really goes hand in hand when I say life is for living. You only get one chance, so make the most of it and live it to the fullest. And that is a
Yeah.
great book to read.
Yep.
Uh, Regarding the breath work, James Nestor Breath, which I know a lot of people have heard of,
Yep.
but this one also, Breathe In, Breathe Out by Stuart Sandeman.
Yeah.
That's a great read as well for every day. And also, I've been listening to that on Audible as well. So I really
Mm.
enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
And then another book I think is always good to have in the library is this one, The Secret Language of Your Body, with Ines Segal. So I think that's a great one that can assist and give some guidance for people when they're feeling pain and emotions and what it relates to, because a lot of people are so unaware of physical pain, can be so related to emotions and trapped traumas
Mm.
that are within
Mm.
the body. And I think that's a great book to highlight that. So,
Mm.
yeah, so continuously educating yourself. Another big one is to actually, something that we would say is sit at the right table. So surround
Yeah.
yourself with positive people, surround yourself with the people that you want to become. If you're filling your days with negativity, then you're only going to produce that negativity, and that's going to have a negative impact on your life. So surround yourself with those people who are going to be uplifting and empowering to yourself, is another massive one. And then my final one, you get one shot at life, so do what makes you happy. Just live it, love it, and do what makes you happy, not what makes other people happy. Live life and enjoy it. And life is for living. Don't
Mm.
regret regrets. So yeah.
That's awesome, Claire. I like those. And thank you for the book tips. I'm always looking for book tips. So those are going on my list as well.
Awesome. And I
Brilliant.
can send you my newsletter as well if you like. So I've started doing a monthly newsletter. I can add that in, and we always have little recommendations for books and things, and then just a few tips and info on breathwork itself. And I've started to do those monthly. So yeah, I'll shoot that through to you as
Yes,
well.
please. What I might get you to do is send that link to me to join your list, and I
Yep,
can put that in the show notes so that if anybody else listening wants to do the same thing, they can jump on your list as well.
sure, that'd be great. Thank you. Yeah, amazing.
Great.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Claire. It's been fascinating hearing your story and catching up again, and some of those top tips. It's amazing how it doesn't matter who I talk to, there's a theme that generally goes through their advice, and at least two out of the four are part of that theme. So it's quite comforting to see that running across different people's sort of agendas. It's great.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. It's been so good. Thank you so much for my first ever podcast. I really enjoyed it. It's been great. It's lovely to see you as well. It's been a while.
Yep,
So thank you
yep,
so much
yep.
for reaching out.
Brilliant. Cool.
Awesome. Great.
Welcome. Cheers,
All right.
Claire. See
Thanks,
ya.
Rick. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.